Hi, I'm Carrie Morton, and welcome back to our Teach Out on Concussions. I'm joined today by Ella Solomon and her mom, Lisa Solomon, and Ella is a student athlete. Ella and Lisa, can you just tell us a little bit about yourselves?
I'm a junior in Ann Arbor, and I play soccer and run cross country.
Okay.
I'm Lisa, Ella's mom. Was formerly an athlete as well, played soccer in college. So,
All right. So Lisa and Ella, you're here because Ella has had a particular experience with concussion. Ella, can you tell us about your experience with concussion?
Yeah, so I've had 3 concussions in the past 3 years, and
one per year. You got a good record.
Yeah.
So can you tell me about those concussions? You know, what were you doing during each of those incidents?
Yeah, so all of them were soccer related. For the first one, I was actually in a game, and I think the ball got punted and hit me in the head.
Okay.
The next one, a soccer goal, I actually wasn't in the game, but a soccer goal tipped over and fell on my head. And then for the last one, we aren't really sure what happened, but I was in a soccer game. Yeah.
So from your perspective, what did it feel like? What did you experience being concussed right in the moment?
Well, I definitely got like headaches like as it happened because of the impact, and initially I felt like really dizzy and stuff but all the times, but that kind of wore off later. I feel like that was more of like a in the moment kind of thing.
And so did you ever lose consciousness?
No.
Okay, I think that's important,
Yeah.
right? There's a real misconception that you have to be unconscious to be concussed, and
Definitely
that
not.
never happened to you in 3 concussions.
Yeah.
Okay. Were there any other symptoms that you struggled with?
Yeah. So there was headaches, dizziness, like feeling lightheaded, and definitely concentration with the second one, and all of them, but particularly the second one, and just stuff like that.
So Lisa, as a mom, did you recognize any of these symptoms in your daughter outwardly?
yeah, so I think, with each of her concussions, it was noticeable to me as a parent that, she was complaining of headache, things like perhaps bright lights or loud noise would bother her. And then, within several days of it happening, as she tried to do things like read or concentrate, you could tell there was definitely a struggle with focus. It was pretty clear knowing, if we knew she got hit with her, hit in the head each of the times, it sort of made sense to us that she possibly had a concussion just based on how she was acting and not being her usual self.
So during those incidents, was it the coach that removed her from play or an athletic trainer?
So each incident was a little different. The first time she got a concussion during a game, it was towards the end of the game, and I don't think she initially realized, or the coach realized, that she had one, but then she started to feel slightly dizzy, and then when the game ended and she came off the field, it was pretty clear. I don't think she necessarily played after it happened, but she just sort of, felt off, and it was towards the end of the game, so...
And then what did you do in that case? Did you just go home and just watch the symptoms, or did you see a physician?
Yeah, so it was on the weekend. We went home and we watched the symptoms for that night. I called our regular pediatrician's office, and probably within a day or two I was able to get her in and get evaluated. And I think it was diagnosed as a concussion. It took a couple weeks for her to feel much better, but definitely sought professional opinion.
And so, how did that recovery last for you in general, or what was that process like?
Well, for the first one, it definitely wasn't as long as the other ones, but it was frustrating not to be able to play the sport or like have trouble at school for a little bit and have to like miss school and stuff like that.
And so did your teachers, were they understanding? Did they give you extra accommodation?
Yeah, for that one I got like a little bit extra time to like complete my work. And then for the other ones I had a lot more trouble concentrating, so like they would give me little breaks because I couldn't really focus for over like 15 to 30 minutes at a time. So I would just go out into the hall and like get water and just like collect my thoughts and
take a break.
Yeah, take a break.
Sure. Sure. So, Lisa, as the parent of an athlete who's been concussed 3 times,
Yeah.
how do you feel about that? Do you have a little bit of hesitation before letting her go back to a contact sport?
Yeah, I definitely do, and I think with each of the times, the second and third, I mean, we held her out a lot longer than would have been recommended, I guess, in terms of her being cleared back towards sports. And it is a big worry. I think there's a lot of unknown out there. She's obviously doing great and is fine back to her normal self now, but you don't know once you've had 3 what happens if you get another one. So yeah, it's a worry. I also don't want to take away from her something she truly loves and enjoys doing as well. So we'll probably continue to follow up with medical advice and make the decision as it gets closer.
Sure. So, Ella, your mom said you're really passionate about soccer.
Yeah.
And I would say you must be if you've been back to it after 3 concussions.
Yeah.
But what would you tell one of your fellow athletes if they were hesitant to be honest about concussion symptoms that they might be suffering?
I would definitely say to be honest about your symptoms and just make sure to get it all checked out, because you don't really know what consequences it's going to hold for you in the future if you don't tell somebody. And
Yeah, and it could probably make it an even longer time before you can actually return.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, Ella and Lisa, thank you so much for joining us today for this concussion teach out. It's really important, I think, to be able to share with learners what it's like to experience concussion, especially multiple times, and how you were able to work through that and get back to sport. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep.
And thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you in the next segment of the Teach Out.